So, hey Leo, my name is Chris, and this is your beautiful reading for whenever you find it. It's not even sign specific, so you can watch this sun, moon, rising. So for your sun sign, for your moon sign, for your rising sign, but it's definitively also for Leos. So I'm not doing the chaotic cross, I'm just dealing some cards and seeing what life shows at us. There are two cards coming out and that's a nice combination already. The Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, right? Balance is restored and there's a happy home, fortune after difficulty. And let's just take the World card here as well. The World card and a new passion. Are you kidding me? And there's the Ace. There's the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So fortune after difficulty, you're going to the finish line, you're finishing an old circle that is closed. And this lady here holds the kind of insignia of her journey, right? Her old chapter that she went through. And it seems like these are the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So passion, right? That's fire energy, that's Wands energy. And Cups energy, that's emotions, that's love, that's also self-love. And you are coming back to yourself, obviously. And there is the basis for it all. A happy, joyful home, a good place to stay, whether it's a mental state or a emotional state. There's more to come, right? There's the Star card. There is the Ten of Pentacles. And, okay, let's just take both, right? There's Death and Rebirth. Death and Rebirth, the Star card and the Ten of Pentacles. That's really, really beautiful. How much do we got? 4, 6, 8, 9. Bottom of the deck is the Strength card. Not forcing things to happen, not fighting windmills. Okay, so this is kind of big, right? So we have death, we have rebirth, we have the closing of a cycle with the World card. We have fortune after difficulty. That's 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 is always completion, getting something out of it. It's, in this case, beautiful energies. You know, you immersing yourself in your own creation, happiness, joy, fortune after difficulty. This could be just a good mental state, a good emotional state that you're in. Could also be that you have a nice place, found a home, so to speak. And death and rebirth, right? That's pretty heavy. And the World card, but which is signifying the end of a cycle. So what do we got? The World card smack in the center, basically, it's all about endings and new beginnings. And the universe is definitely giving you something back. The Six of Pentacles, that's for sure. So if you have received a lot, now it's time to give. And if you have given a lot, if you have lost a lot, if you have been through some sort of dark night of the soul, it is time to receive blessings, by the way, right? That's the 10 of Cups here. And do not argue with what is. Concentrate on joyful creation. Make joyful creation. That's what I always say, but it's very much emphasized here with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So taking care of yourself, loving yourself, respecting yourself, healing yourself, you know, and then take your passion, take what you are passionate about. And there are two different ways to understand passion, basically. One darker version is basically, what are you willing to suffer for? And in the beginning, when you explore your passion, you know, you have to put in some work. You have to do the hard work, right? When you learn how to ride a bike, you most likely fall down, maybe hurt yourself, most likely, right? So this is the suffering for passion phase, but then eventually you enter You learn a few things, right? That's when you learned a lesson, basically. That's the world card. You learned a lesson. True death and rebirth, right? So something died, something you had to give up, and that's a bigger cycle. 2026 is a very significant year. 2026 is especially the year where the old is ending, where the new is finally taking off and spreading its own wings. It's really a developmental cycle for humanity. And there were a few disappointments, there were a few deaths, right? Something that went lost, or you just had to give up, right? Disillusionments. Think about the last 10 years, 9-10 years, right? You know, maybe you suffered a lot passionately for something that you were very passionate about, that you were very attached to. Something of that attachment we all had to let go. And now is the time to reawaken, basically. So we're entering this second phase. I mean, this is the channel for the empaths. The narcissistic story is kind of reverse, but this is a channel for empathic people. So you got the curse first, and now it's time for the blessing. That's what I always say. So if the last 9 years were, you know, a walk in the park for you and everything just went, yay, that's probably not the right channel for you. But if you're empathic, if you're a decent human being, right? If you upheld your principles, if you have indeed principles, if you really try to, you know, balance things out and to get to the root of who you are and what you want to do and what you need to do and what is the highest expression of yourself. If you struggled with these questions in the last year, 9 years, 10 years, right? You probably went through some sort of death and rebirth cycle, which is the darker chapter of this story. The lighter chapter, and that's the blessing part, right? If you want to be blessed, you have to get the curse first. And you've been through that. The world card is signaling that you come full circle. And now it's really good, right? It's really, really good. We got 2 times the 10 completion, right? 10 of Cups emotionally and Pentacles wise as well. Maybe you get a new job. Maybe you start a new career. Maybe you did something or finally doing something that is just much more in alignment with what you have done in the last 9 or 10 years. So maybe you were very, very trying to, you know, check boxes and getting some sort of career and, you know, I don't know, you were trying to holding on to something that was not good for you and that created probably suffering, right? And it's also about self-mastery, right? So exploring your light, exploring your darkness, and transcending and integrating both of it. Not negating one side of it, but transcending and integrating both of it. There is the dark night of the soul, which is the 5 of Pentacles, kind of between death and rebirth, right? Then we got the 4 of Cups. You're already sitting in abundance, you're already sitting in blessings, but you might not even realize that there's the Ace of Pentacles between the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. So you got 3 aces now. Definitely, that's a new freaking wonderful beginning, right? And there is the Lovers between the Star card and the 10 of Pentacles. Your ships are rolling in, and I'm going to do one more card here. Let's just keep the Strength card here. There's your 4th ace in the center, right? We got 9 cards and we need 10 for completion, and I left the last one for right now to kind of form a picture and form a narrative, and that's the center, the new consciousness, the new idea. That's the 4th ace. Leo, my friend. And Leo is, when I say it's not necessarily sign specific, right? It's not time specific in the sense that it's a particular month. It's kind of picking up the energy in 2026 whenever you find it. And it is for Leo, but you can also watch the sun, moon, rising sign like wise. And Leo is kind of the fiery energy where you pick up the pace, where you start doing stuff again. You get active, it's summer, it's, you get active again. And can we just make this a point here that you got 4 aces? All of it, right? The Ace of Pentacles is kind of a clarifier, but the other one are main cards in your reading. The Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, center stage, the Ace of Swords. So you're coming from a place of self-love, of self-respect. There's a lot of passion here, and you're no longer in this phase where you suffer for your passion, but you're in the second half of this developmental cycle where you make your passion into joyful creation. You repeatedly do something that gives you joy and happiness while you're doing it, and that is also an expression of passion. No longer the suffering for passion part, but the joyful, blessed version of passion, right? And you get a new consciousness with the Ace of Swords out of that developmental cycle. So look back into the last 10 years, 9-10 years. You had to give something up. You have had to wake up to some maybe harsh reality. And maybe let's just do a bridge from down there to the Chariot. Yeah. All that you have learned is, the Chariot is basically the bridge here, coming forward, and there's the 10 of Pentacles a second time. So you can make something out of this very, very quickly. I think you planted a lot of seeds, and these seeds are going to grow. And, it's the Star card, 2 times the 10 of Pentacles. What was I saying? So, yeah, some sort of dark night of the soul, hanging on to something. Disappointments in the last 9-10 years. So you learned a lot about the world. You had your own little dark night of the soul, most likely. But there's also a blessing in here that you might have kind of overlooked a little bit. The universe was providing you a stable foundation, or I would say a protected home almost, and be grateful for that. And now that you finally entering the second phase of this developmental cycle, no longer dark night of the soul, no longer death and rebirth. You went through this rebirth cycle. You are coming out of this with a new transformed consciousness, and now it's all about creation. All these aces, and then there's the Star card, the universe conspiring in your creation, so very much help there. And of course 2 times the 10 of Pentacles, there's the Ace of Pentacles as well. There is a lot coming out of it, and that's how we win, right? Not fighting the old circle is over. And here's the big advice, how you can focus all of your energy now on creating the new by not fighting the old, by not arguing with the old, right? By not looking back into anger, frustration, pain, and all that stuff. Hate creates hate, love creates love, right? This is how we win, not fighting the old, but building the new. And you, with all these aces and the 10 of Pentacles, totally building the new, right? Let's just do one more quote, and there are actually 2 falling out. Yeah, and I say this comes out all the freaking time. Make joyful creation a daily habit. And this is also for the second half of this phase. Let's just see what else we got. A third one, maybe for the old cycle. Yeah, that's the past quote. When you look into the past, what happened, right? Probably not very joyful. Dark Night of the Soul energy, 5 of Pentacles, Death card, rebirth, thank God for that. Focus not on guilt. Focus not on the past. Guilt is a concept that is always focusing onto the past. Spilled milk, so to speak. So you can't change the past. The past is the past. It already happened. If you use your mind to think about the past, you're kind of wasting the present moment, because it's just the eternal now. It's always the present moment. If you think about the past, you're still in the present, but you're wasting it, filling the present moment with thoughts about the past or emotions about the past. So focus not on guilt. Guilt is always directed into the past. But focus on responsibility, and responsibility means what can you do with what you've got, with what is given to you right here, right now. And with all 4 aces, you got a lot to do, right? Make joyful creation a daily habit, right? And that's a beautiful reading. And it's one of these readings in 2026. 2025 was heavy, but 2026 is just epic. But if you look into the last developmental cycle, 9-10 years, and was it predominantly joyful, or would you say that was quite tough? So you're getting the other side of it finally. And there's Luna. Luna number 22. There's emotional healing as well here. In the days leading up to the next full moon, you may feel unusually emotional for no apparent reason. You are experiencing an emotional healing, the release of unexpressed emotions that you have kept locked inside for a long time. Perhaps you had forgotten these feelings existed, so they have come to remind you. Let them go and you shall be healed. There's nothing you need to do or work through. Just allow your emotions to surface without trying to suppress them. Allow all to unfold as it is and trust that it is a blessing. You will enjoy the benefits of this emotional release for years to come. Luna, Spirit, that's kind of the Blue Angel Oracle deck here. When you close a cycle, when you've been to some sort of dark night of the soul and you're coming out of this, closure, transformed consciousness, rebirth, right? You had help in this, right? So there is the 10 of Cups is on the past side, so to speak, and all the aces, the Ace of Swords is in the center, transformed consciousness. So you really learned something. You got a new consciousness out of it. And then self-love, self-respect, joyful creation, passionate creation, but not passionate in the sense that you're suffering for it, but joyful, passionate creation. There is your star card, there's your universe conspiring and making all that happen. And when you find that reading, you are smack in that moment where it changes. You let the old die and the new is beginning, right? When you find that. I mean, if you're resonating with this, it's probably very true for you. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it, how this makes you feel. Yeah, it starts right here, right now. Beautiful. And in this changing moment, let Spirit be your guide. That's Hawk Spirit. In this moment where it changes, where you finally let go of the old and you finally open your hands to receive the new, this is a very emotional time, right? This is a very, when you think about giving birth to someone, It's a pretty intense energy or pretty intense experience, but it's worth it. So there might be moments when you think, oh my God, was it really necessary to go through all that shit, right? But que sera, sera. It happened. What happened, happened. Don't focus on guilt. Don't focus on resentment and all that pain that you might have been through. Focus on what you can make of it. But yeah, healing, emotional healing. If you have to cry, cry. And you don't need to do anything. You just have to daily joyful creation, and focusing on building the new, not on fighting the old, on building the new. You got so many talents here, so many gifts here. What is it for you, right? And you don't need to be grandiose about it. You don't need to capitalize on whatever you want to do. There are many people who wrote books and 100 years later they became bestsellers, right? But you don't do it for recognition. You don't do it for external validation. You do it because it is you, your highest expression. Don't make it about external validation. Make it about daily joyful creation, and let that creation be the reward. Do it because you love to do it. Do what you love, right? Number 32, that's Hawk Spirit. Let's see what he is saying. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details. Observe the rain and the ponds as well as the cloud. And he doesn't miss anything. When Hawk Spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from Spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending you to guide you. Lately, you have been hearing the same word or song, or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places. Perhaps you hear a song on the radio which is just the right lyrics, portraying your own journey, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When Hawk Spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Let Spirit be your guide. Okay. So you obviously, that's kind of connecting your rebirth with the star card. So you're part of a greater community, right? You're not isolated, even if you might be alone right now, right? You're always in a bigger community, and you're a child of this universe, you're a child of nature, joyful creation, right? A flower is not flowering just to get external recognition, it's just the highest expression of what it is. So I hope it resonates with you. I hope it does. If it does, share, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it. And there is the 2026 reading, check that out. There's the spring reading 2026, you can check that out as well. If you want the full picture, check out your sun, moon, and rising sign, and hopefully see you next time. Ciao.